Hi everybody, this is Jamie from the Unlikely Homeschool. I was a little girl and I went to public school. One of the things my mom always required us to do was to have everything we needed for the school day set out the night before. That way we weren't so harried and rushed in the morning trying to get out the door. And so I've tried to apply that same principle to my homeschool morning as well. I don't want to start my day rushing around trying to find all of the things that I need to start school as I have, 4 or 5 kids just staring at me or starting to get a little cranky and fussy waiting to begin the day. So I have determined to the best of my ability that every night before I go to bed I set out a few things that I would need to start the school day off on the right foot. And for us that just means that I put out all the essential materials that I need for the very first subject of the day for each of my kids. So essentially I have 3 main homeschoolers. My preschooler does do some things in the morning, but I'm not as concerned about him right now as the elementary school aged kids. And so when I set out my materials the night before, I think about my 3 oldest children. Right now I have a 4th grader, a 1st grader, and a kindergartner. And so I set out piles of work for each of them. This would be my 4th grader's pile, and she typically starts her day with language, or at least that's the first subject she does with me. And one thing to keep in mind, I only set out the things that I would need to teach that subject. I don't ever put out their workbooks or their pencils or the materials that they would need to bring to the school table because that's their responsibility. So anything that I would need to successfully start and complete that subject, I put out in a pile. For her, for language, it's the teacher's guide and maybe a whiteboard with some sample sentences and a marker and an eraser. Whatever I would need, I just kind of look through the lesson plan and pull out everything that I would be required to have with me. That way, right in the middle of the lesson, if I need a marker, I'm not having to get up and rush and try to find a marker. I already have it there. My 1st grader also has a pile. You'll notice I pulled out flashcards and little manipulatives that he would need for the lesson. And everything that I have here is in some way included in the lesson plan guide, or in just looking through the lesson plan I could see, oh, there's a place that we can maybe play a game this morning. So I'll pull out some things for a game. Then I have my kindergartner's stash, and he has some manipulatives and a game going for the next school day, and everything is piled up in piles, and so then I can start the school day off with a bang because we're starting it off a little less stressful, a little less harried, because everything is prepared and ready to go for that first subject. There are times when I come home at the end of the day, really late at night from a Bible study or a meeting, and I just don't really feel like doing this. Usually it takes me only about 10 minutes, but I just really want to hop into bed and be done with my day. I always regret it in the morning because the morning doesn't start off very well. I get a little grouchy because things aren't going smoothly, and it just continues to snowball throughout the school day. So I really try to purposefully set out the things that I need for the next day so that way we can start the school day very fresh and ready to go. I hope that helps you. Happy homeschooling.